Hey, welcome back to Techopolis 3, where in the last video, we unlocked the nether, and all of the new resources that come with that. Like quartz, and zinc, and netherite, which is not currently in here because the digital mine is not running anymore, and all three gems that are going to be relatively useful for this video. Because the plan for this video is to move on to the empowering tree, and probably do all of this. It doesn't seem to be that bad. But of course, to get all the things from the Empowerer, I need all of the empowered blocks, which is going to require a lot of peridot, a lot of ruby, and a lot of sapphire. Now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't checked the others. Diamantine is platinum and Sodus quartz, that's not a big deal. Inori is quartz and iron, also not a big deal. And then Void is fluix and graphite. And then I guess there's empowered canola seeds, which can make, I'm assuming, a new fuel? Or any fuel at all? Which I don't think I'll need for a while. The main focus is these 6, because they can make the super empowered, for the super empowered crystals, making amethyst, nether data models, a lot more important things moving forward. And I have a couple other plans once I've done all of this, but I'll get to that when I get to that. For now, the first step is to get this empowerer to be able to actually make all of these. And this is going to require a reasonable amount of things. I need batteries and a bunch of display stands. And I think, yep, each display stand uses netherite. Cool. I do have spare netherite dust, so I can make some ingots fairly easily. And you know what, just for the sake of it, I'm going to process the rest of this ancient debris. And that should net me 21 more netherite? Yeah, that's probably enough for now, but I'll leave it in the dust form because that still has other niche uses. Anyway, to be able to make the display stand, I still need the aesthetic quartz, which, yeah, uses an atomic reconstructor. And I may as well make another one of these, because trying to hijack this one just sounds like a bad idea. It's pretty cheap anyway. Just some basic technium, not a big deal. So I can just place that down there, and if I get some of the quartz that I'm going to need, I just throw it in line, press the button, and there we go. So how many of these display stands am I going to need? I think 5? 1 for the Empowerer and 4 for the stands around it. So that's a lot of quartz. Quartz that I do not have. Thankfully, I've got a bunch of dimensional quartz from the nether miners, so I can process all of that. But it's a bit full right now. Oh, that's why it's full. Whoops. Well, with some help from the time in a bottle, I can speed this all along to get rid of all that excess diamond, and then stick the quartz in. So there's a bunch more quartz, and I can make everything I need for the display stands. Now to just go one step further and get the Empowerer, but this is going to be a bit more work. I think the hardest thing here is the double battery. That needs a few things. Single battery, zinc, Inori, and a Restonia crystal. Inori is just nickel in the atomic reconstructor. Restonia is redstone. That's not very hard. I am just going to have to process a bit of this zinc. Then I can make that single battery. And then for the double battery, I need an advanced coil, gold nuggets, basic coil, Restonia, and black quartz. I think I've already got that. That's not a big deal. So there's the double battery. And then I just need 2 ultimate technium machine frames, which also isn't very hard. There we go. And that's the Empowerer. So, now to just set this up. And I may as well do it in the middle of this room. It's likely going to be the most important thing in here. It does have to be quite large, though. So, now I just need to make all of these empowered crystals. And none of them should be that bad. Oh, and I've been wondering how I was going to automate the Empowerer to make these, but I can just make a reaction chamber. Maybe not yet. But still, that is significantly easier. I don't need it automated yet, because I can make the hellish technium without it, so then I might not bother automating this Empowerer setup. I'm still going to need it for manual use cases, and for that, it's still helpful to have a bunch of hoppers. Anyway, I can just work down the line here, and I'll make a few of each. Actually, I think the first thing is going to be getting all of these crystals, let alone the empowered kind. So I need diamonds, redstone, nickel, lapis, emerald, and coal. Hasn't really changed then, but good to double check. Ooh, but I don't have many emeralds. Ah, okay. I think I may as well make another one of these machines. It's a little expensive, but I can manage. There we go. I can probably just set this up here. I'm gonna have to connect the ME system in properly though. 1 second. There we go. Pass in antimatter. And now I can make emeralds. Kinda slowly though. I should only need one more acceleration card. Yeah, that's fine. So now I can make a bunch of emerald blocks. 8'll do. And now to just get the rest of these. Redstone's not a big deal. Lapis I'm somewhat running low on, but I can make more. Diamond I have thousands of. I'm stockpiling to be able to make the next reactor. Coal is interesting, because I've got a ton of charcoal, but I think I need regular coal. But I've got plenty of dimensional coal ore. It's not a big deal. And then nickel is super easy. So, there is 8 of all of the base materials. I just need to quickly convert them into their crystal counterparts. And now I can get to empowering them. And I know I've got 8 of the crystal blocks, so I just need a lot of the rest of these. Ooh, and some of these have some somewhat expensive blocks. But I can manage. The Emratic needs peridot and uranium. I can get the uranium fairly easily, but the peridot's going to be a bit more of a problem. I'm going to need to get a ton more clean quartz slurry. It's probably worth me automating most of this now, actually. Yeah. And then I can just pass all of this through and it'll get all the stuff I need. So I'm putting the empowered crystals on hold for a minute. I've got other things that I need to do. So the clean quartz should only need a chemical dissolution chamber and a chemical washer. That's not too bad. I can steal sulfuric acid from the ME system. And then I'm going to need 3 more pressurized reaction chambers so that I've got 1 for each crystal. And then, is it worth stealing some of this purifying water? Probably not. I can just make more. And if this is running passively, I'm not going to need much. I think 1 purifier and 1 pump is enough. Although I might want a good Technium machine frame. Anyway, I still need to make the other machines, but none of them are too bad. I am just gonna need to make 3 more enrichment chambers, so that's fun. But from there, it's not too much harder to get the pressurized reaction chambers. So that should hopefully be all the machines I need. I'm probably gonna have to build off of it, but this is enough to get going. So I need the quartz to go into the chemical dissolution chamber with an export bus putting in sulfuric acid. Oh, except I don't have the chemical kind. So I need a rotary condensator that I can probably just stick in the middle there. There, now I've got the right sulfuric acid in there. So I can start pumping in the quartz. Then those chemicals all go into the washer, which needs some purified water from this pump, but I don't have any water in there. 1 second. Right. Now it's making the clean quartz slurry. So then I can connect in the pressurized reaction chambers, and then these need to be connected to the clean quartz, and they also need to be connected to the water, and they need to be connected to the ores. I need to use all 6 faces if I want to be able to grab both outputs. This is suddenly a lot harder than I thought it would be. Okay, I'm gonna need to split these up a lot. I can still do clean quartz in the back. Well, not the back, in the top. I think I'll do power in the bottom. It feels really wrong having a waterlogged cable, but I guess these cables are waterproof. And then I might be able to have water go into the back. Then comes the tricky bit. I need to somehow connect in the input and the output. I reckon input I can still do through the front. I am just going to have to put some dimensional ores in there to make sure I don't just run the one. I'm just going to need to do some tricky cabling to get this to actually connect properly. Also, that noise is already annoying me. But now I've blocked off some of this bit. Hang on, it's time to make the cabling even trickier, so that then I can open up this central bit to let me, I think, yes, the spent nether waste is a chemical. I'm gonna consistently take that out of the left side, and I can bring it all into a chemical tank here. But I guess I may as well connect with the storage bus. And then, for now, I might just take the gems out manually, because I don't need to put them anywhere just yet. Although I do need to start making this stuff much quicker, so I should probably get some upgrades. So I'll just do speed and energy across the board, and chemical upgrades wherever applicable. So there we go. That's now a fully passive system to get rubies, peridots, and sapphires. And with that, I can get back to finishing off these empowered crystals. This was a bit more of a tangent than I thought it would be. Also, I kind of want to move the empowerer now, because it's making this area feel a lot more cramped. I can probably just stick it in here. It's still kind of tucked away in a corner, but it doesn't feel so cramped now trying to slide around this bit. Anyway, empowered crystals. How many peridot blocks do I have? 14. Probably the same for the others, but there's plenty more gems. I just need 16 of each. And so that's everything to get the empowered emratic crystals. The redstone is just missing innerite, which I do not have much of. I think it's all being spent at the nuclear reactor, so I'm just gonna take it off of it. Just enough to make my 16 blocks. Then I can put it back. Okay, that's Restonia. What about Palace? I need lead. Comparatively much easier. Then diamantine. I need platinum. I don't think that's going to be as much of a problem as I first thought. Yeah, because I've got a lot of spare platinum, thanks to this machine. And then, as well as the platinum, I need Soda's quartz, but that's also fairly easy. It might just take a little while to go through, though. So then what do I need for the void crystal? Graphite and fluix. That's going to take even longer, but it's still not that big of a deal. So then lastly, Inori, I just need quartz and iron. That is very easy. Okay, so now, just for the somewhat more long-winded process of putting all of these items through. But with the hoppers, it should make it significantly easier, because then all I need to do is just take out the finished block. Although even then, I can probably do this quicker. Yeah, that's much quicker. Or I guess less quicker, just easier. So then eventually everything will go through the system, and I've got 8 of every empowered crystal. Okay, and from there I can get a super empowered crystal? Yeah, which needs crystal assembler. Now, are these empowered crystals useful for anything else? I don't think so. At least the blocks aren't. The individual crystals are useful for other actually additions things, but I've kind of moved past that already. I don't know, if something specific comes up, then that's fine. But for now, I think I'm just going to turn all of them into the super empowered crystal. So for that, I need a crystal assembler, and this is when I'll finally start getting into extended AE. There's a bunch of other things that I want to make with this. Ooh, and some things I didn't even know about. Ooh, I'm getting sidetracked. Focusing on the empowered crystal blocks first. So, crystal assembler. I can get most of this stuff quite easily. The crafting terminal's not that bad. The extended machine frame just needs entro-infused ingots, and I can do that pretty easily. So there's one extended machine frame. And then last, I need a skystone tank, but that's also pretty easy. There we go. So, crystal assembler. And this can probably go just about anywhere. I'll put it down there. Maybe down one more so that it's connected to the fluix cables. Okay. So then I just put all 6 of these in, and it just works. I can make it a little bit quicker. So there are 8 super empowered crystal blocks, and I can make some of those super empowered crystals. Not too many though, just enough to complete the quest for now. And so, I reckon that's enough quest progress for now, but I've still got a bit of time, so there's a couple other things that I want to do. Mostly involving the ME system, now that I've unlocked most of Extended AE. Because this adds quite a lot of things that are somewhat OP, honestly. I didn't know about the wireless connector until about 10 minutes ago, and as much as this is something that I've always wanted for AE2, my god is this powerful. Because yes, there's the quantum link chamber that does the same thing across infinite distance and dimensions, kind of like the quantum entangle porter, but these are really finicky to set up and extremely power hungry, so they're often extremely late game. But these wireless connectors seem to be much smaller scale and a lot easier to set up. And by the looks of things, I can have a lot of them. I don't know if they work similarly to P2P, if I can have multiple outputs for the one input, because if that's the case, this might replace P2P? I don't know. But I think the big thing that I've been wanting to do for a while is kind of move the ME system into a slightly easier spot. And I think I've got a good candidate right here, because these biogenerators are not doing anything anymore. They're backup power at best. If I can get myself some more space, that'd be very handy. And I guess while I'm at it, I can probably move these machines. I'm not sure where to, I'll just plonk them down anywhere for now. So now I've got a nice little corner to work with. And the central AE2 stuff really doesn't need that much space, so this corner's probably enough. But the first thing I'm going to put in here is a larger controller, because if I'm trying to scrape together any face I can for P2P, I may as well put this in an easier spot so I can access more spaces. But of course, that means a lot more of these. Then comes the question of how many? I could go for a 3x3, but then I might have too many faces. So I guess just a 2x2? Yeah. So then I need 7 more of these. But it's not super difficult to get more of these. It might just be a bit of a pain to try and move this over. I can place the 2x2 off the ground a bit, just so I've got as many faces as possible. Then, I just realized a bit of a mistake that I've made. All of the P2P tunnels will have been reset by doing this. None of them are in terrible places. I can reconnect them. For now, I'm just worrying about connecting all of this stuff in. I should probably put these terminals in a better spot, but I do kind of need to access them so I can get more cables. Oh, right, but most places are disconnected right now. Hang on, I need to actually connect everything back in again, and that will involve setting up these P2P things again. Oh, good, and the outputs still remember their frequencies, but I can't put the frequencies back for the input side, so I'll just determine a new frequency for the old frequency. So this D5A9 is going to connect to all the 4590 tunnels, and so on for the other P2Ps. Okay, I think everything's connected in again. I can just fix up the wireless, and I'm going to have to relink it. There, that's working. And so I think everything has been moved properly. Right. That means now I've got space for more chests, but this is kind of a losing game to continue on with at this point. So I need to start making drives. And why not go all the way to the extended drive? I'm not sure how much more space this has. 20 cells. Okay, that is plenty. It does need a concurrent processor, but that's not too bad. Ooh, except I can't get blaze powder just yet. I'm going to save that for next time. Well, I need a normal drive for the extended drive anyway, so I can just make one for now. And then I've already got 8 256k storage components. I meant to use those to get the infinity cells, but if I've got them, I may as well make the item storage. I just need a bit of quartz glass, and I can make 8 storage cells. I don't have enough redstone or copper either. 1 second. Ah, that's why. There's an extra cable here I forgot to connect in. There we go, now I can get the rest of the cells. I'm not entirely sure where to put this drive. Maybe I can move some of these things around a little bit, and I can stick the drives underneath. There we go. Okay, that should make it much easier when I need to add more things into the ME system. And I don't think I need to keep these chests anymore, so I'm just going to put all of this in to the drive. It does mean then that if somehow my power goes down, I don't have access to my items anymore, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. My power generation is quite reliable right now, and also quite a lot of my stuff is connected through storage buses, so I don't think that's going to change very much. Okay, now I just have a giant void here that I'm not sure what to do with. Maybe I could have just left the ME system where it was. Either way, this is fine for now. There were a couple other things that I wanted to do, like extended pattern providers, but they need concurrent processes, which I'm not going to be able to do until next video. And also, it's the kind of thing that I'll make for purpose as I go. Because some very important machines, like the enrichment chamber or the smelter, I can't fully connect in because I just don't have enough space for it. Also, basically all of my normal crafting is full. So if those are much larger, that would make things a lot easier. But most of that I think I'll just make for purpose. I'm a little curious about the extended inscriber, but at the same time, I've already automated this, and I don't really want to reconfigure all of this, so I might just leave it be. Yeah. Well then, I think that's probably enough for one video. I've made a fair bit of progress. I've set up a somewhat passive production for all of the nether gems. I can probably connect those into their own storage sometime, but the gems themselves I don't explicitly need right now. It's the nether waste that I might need when I get to Hellish Technium, but this is a functional system for the time being. We've also set up the Empowerer, use that to get a load of stuff, and then finished by kind of upgrading the ME system. I more just cleaned it up a bit. Yeah. Next time I can move on with the organic tree, and there seems to be quite a lot of useful things in here, namely a lot of nether mobs, so I can finally start producing nether stars. And it also seems like there's a way to duplicate ancient debris. I don't know, that's something to look into next time. But this organic tree is the last one before I start getting into Hellish Technium, so maybe I can get through this quicker than I thought. I don't know. I guess we'll see for next time. But for now, I feel like I've done enough for one video, and I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'm going to call the video here. Bye.